Now, we are in the Iranian capital, in Tehran, and we've spoken to a lot of folks here on the street, and a lot of them say they are very angry at the United States. They voiced that anger to us and also absolutely ripped into President Trump. They attacked us, she says. We were living our normal lives and they attacked us. If someone strikes the United States, would they not answer? Of course they would. We're not doing anything but defending ourselves. Iranian people are people of honor, and we will definitely give a strong response, this man says. We will stand strongly like we have been for the past 40 years. There is no one dirtier than Trump, he says. First he gives us 2 weeks' time, but then after 2 days strikes us. We do not have nuclear weapons, so why does he strike us? Such a guy only thinks about his own benefit. I support the supreme leader with my life, he says. I approve of him, really, because he's moving forward for the sake of our land.
The Democratic Party, I want to believe that their cause of support may not necessarily be them supporting the Iranian government because they want to, but because they don't want to support Donald Trump. Somehow they're like, okay, if Donald Trump is on the side of Israel and it's doing this, we are going to go with the opposite. But then people are coming out to say that, you guys, the best people to listen to right now are the Iranians. How are they feeling? What is really happening? Some of them have come out to say that they're doing fine. Others are coming out to say that before you start making a decision for us and telling us that you're fighting for us or you're fighting against the regime, please understand where you're going.
You know, I never wanted to become an online social media political activist type person. Like, that's not who I wanted to be. I'm a filmmaker. I'm an artist. I'm using my skills as a filmmaker and storyteller to tell the stories of the Iranian people and to educate people. One, we've completely lost the plot and we're going backwards. Nobody is listening to anyone, not even artists. They're listening to the politicians and not the poets. But on top of all of this, every single Iranian now feels like they have to become an activist because nobody is listening to us. Nobody is listening to the actual people of Iran who are experiencing this, the diaspora like us, whose families had to flee the situation years ago, who want to see our homeland be a democratic and secular place where the people can do what they want to do, say what they want to say. It's like nobody is listening to us. And it's forced all of us to have to become political activists when we don't want to be political activists, but nobody is listening. And when nobody listens, we are forced to speak and we are forced to maybe scream louder because nobody's actually listening to us. And who's going to speak on our behalf if we don't speak on our behalf?
Hello everyone, so this video is for the people who are backing up Iran right now, mostly Democrats, that they are supporting Iran right now. So I want to go over a few rules and laws in Iran about women. Basically, it's everything against what Democrats believe. So if you're a woman in Iran, they see you as a half a brain. So you don't have the full brain. So let's say if you witnessed a murder and you're a woman and you want to go to the court and say that you witnessed a murder, there should be 3 women. So your witness, like your words, will be approved in the court. Versus if it's a man and it witnessed a murder, only 1 man is enough. Why? Because they say women have half a brain. If you're a woman in Iran, you have kids and you want to divorce, you only can have that child until 7 years. After 7 years, your child is for your husband, and he can come and take the child away from you, and you might never ever see your child again. Or if he doesn't want to, he can leave this child with you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. If you're a woman in Iran and you want to divorce your husband, oh, you have to go through hell. But if your husband wants to divorce you, it's super easy for them. If you're a woman in Iran and you're being beaten up by your husband, and me as your neighbor call the police and say, my neighbor is, hitting his wife to death, police will do nothing. They will say, well, it's a family matter and it is his wife. So basically, a wife for a man is like an object, just like they bought a car or something. So they will not interfere, and they will say that it's their personal problem, it's not our problem. if you're a woman in Iran and you want to travel out of country, you have to have the approval from your father if you're single, or your brother if you don't have a father. If you're married, you have to have the approval from your husband. So basically your husband has to sign a paper that gives you the permission to leave the country. And let's say your husband said you can't keep the kid. Until that kid is 18 years old, you have no right over that kid. Basically, if you want to leave the country, the kid cannot leave the country unless the father approves it and give the permission. If you're a woman in Iran, you can never become a judge, because they say women decide with their emotions, so they cannot be a good judge. If you're a woman and you walk into your home and you see your husband with another woman and you get mad and you kill them, you will be hanged. But if you're a man, you walked in a room and get your husband with another man, you can kill both of them and nothing's gonna happen to you. In Iran, you will be hanged if you kill someone. That's the punishment. But if you're a woman and you kill someone and your punishment is hanging, but you are virgin, they will first rape you before they hang you. I know that you can't even put this in your imagination, but that is true. Because in Islam, you cannot hang a virgin woman. In Iran, if a woman does not want to sleep with the husband and have sex, and the husband basically force you and kind of rape you, actually it does not count as a rape. So your husband can basically force you to have sex and there is nothing that you can do about it. In Iran, a woman cannot sing. No man can hear your voice singing. In Iran, if you're a woman and you get raped, do you know what's the first thing that they ask you? What did you do that they raped you? As a woman in Iran, we get sexually assaulted every day. Me, myself, I've been in Iran for 27 years. I've been sexually assaulted every day. Not by raping, but you walking in the street, they will touch your butt. They will touch you. They will say nasty things in your ear. You're not safe anywhere. You sit in taxi, a man next to you, they will touch you. There is nothing you can do really about it. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of choosing your sexuality, forget about it. You want to be a bisexual, you want to be gay, you want to be lesbian in Iran, forget about it. You can be, but there's going to be consequences for that, and you better not be caught. And this was just a very, very small amount of the things that's going on in Iran against women. So next time that any person that lives in Europe and in America and they want to support Iran's government, just think about all this, and shame on you if you do.
As an Iranian in the diaspora, I'd like to answer this million-dollar question. If there is regime change in Iran, how do we know that it's not going to be another Iraq, another Afghanistan, another Libya? First of all, this premise is built on an inherently racist assumption that all Middle Eastern people are savages, and if you knock one savage regime out the way, another savage regime is going to rise in its place like whack-a-mole. I'm sorry, you clearly do not understand the Iranian people, who are some of the most pro-democracy, pro-freedom, most educated, most progressive people in the entire world, much less the Middle East. But you want to know why it's different? Because the common denominator is not them. The common denominator is you. In Iraq, you forced a regime change that the Iraqi people were not ready for, nor were they politically mobilized. So when that regime fell, it left a power vacuum for only extremist factions to stand in. Same script in Libya, same thing with Afghanistan. You see, the Taliban didn't just come out of nowhere. They were funded as part of the US's intent to defeat the communists. Now, obviously, the communists needed to be defeated, but the US didn't fund grassroots Afghan fighters. They funded the Mujahideen. They funded Islamists because they knew that would be the reactionary force necessary to defeat the communists. And you got what you would predictably get at the tail end of that, which is that you empowered Islamists and Islamists came to power. Then you say, in 1979, there was regime change in Iran and it brought in the Ayatollah's regime. No, you brought in the Ayatollah's regime. It was your president who corresponded with the Ayatollah who was in exile in France. It was you who told the Ayatollah that you would tell the Iranian army to stand down. It was you who flew the supreme leader into Iran on Air France. So no, that was not an organic regime change of the people. It was a Western collaboration. The people of Afghanistan didn't ask for regime change and get the Taliban. You implanted the Taliban. The people of Iran didn't ask for regime change and get the Ayatollah's regime. You implanted the Ayatollah's regime. And when the people of Iran called out to your president and said, Obama, Obama, Yaba Una, Yaba Ma, meaning Obama, Obama, either you're with them or you're with us, it was you who funded the Ayatollah's regime with more than $100 billion in sanctions relief. This is not a US enforced regime change. This is an organic, grassroots Iranian regime change. All we've ever asked is to stop funding the oppressors. What's that saying? You get what you pay for? If you don't want another Ayatollah regime, don't fund it, don't pay for it, don't fly it in, don't collaborate with it, don't maintain it, don't sustain it, and maybe you won't get it.